How a new program can help Kentuckians beat the heat this summer. And Kentucky lawmakers question state health leaders over the mandate for everyone to wear masks in public.
Temperatures start to warm up tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. I'll have a look at that forecast right now at 5:30.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Community action agencies are now accepting applications for their new initiative, the LIHEAP Summer Cooling Program. The Home Energy Assistance focuses on helping with those high electric bills. The program was created to try and help folks during this pandemic. WYMT's Lacey Roberts spoke with the executive director of LKLP about how it works.
As COVID-19 continues to make changes across the country and Commonwealth,
we've actually been running a LIHEAP program continuously since COVID-19 was announced.
Some good has come to the mountains.
But with COVID, of course, this year and some additional funding through CARES,
allowing LKLP to continue their low-income home energy assistance program into a summer cooling program.
That is the first time that we've ever had two components.
Those two parts, subsidy and crisis. All subsidy is based on
your income and your type of housing. It ranges from $50 to $200, the benefit does. Crisis component that can go up to $600 and is for someone that's either at risk of being disconnected or has been disconnected from electricity.
So how can you get assistance?
The first thing to do is to call your local community action agency office, no matter which county you're in.
Traditionally, applications are done in person.
But with COVID-19 now, we're doing a lot of telehealth models to where we can do it by telephone and or video.
Interviewing applicants through Zoom.
They can take pictures of their documentation or hold it up to the screen and we can snapshot it.
Or use a drop box outside your local office.
Anyone that applies that's eligible will be approved for assistance. There's no limit on funding.
Serving Kentuckians year-round. In Hazard, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
The LKLP office in Hazard serves Leslie, Knott, Letcher, and Perry counties. To find out more, you can call your local community action office. We now know which counties in Kentucky will have their election results audited. Today, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron randomly selected Cumberland, Davis, Floyd, Logan, Monroe, and Simpson counties for a post-election audit. State law requires the Attorney General's office to audit the results of at least 5% of Kentucky's counties after each primary and general election. Attorney General Cameron encourages anyone who suspects of voting irregularity to contact his office anytime during the year. Tax day is quickly approaching. The deadline to file moved from April 15th to July 15th because of the coronavirus pandemic. The IRS does offer free tax filing software programs for those who have yet to file and are trying to beat the clock. For those who need more time, you can get an extension until October 15th. But if you owe money, you need to send in the estimated amount now. And for the millions who lost their job during the pandemic, it is not too early to think about next year. Both state and federal unemployment benefits are taxable, and those taxes are not automatically deducted. Some state lawmakers want an immediate public hearing over the governor's mandate for people to wear face coverings in public. That's what came out of a meeting of a legislative panel in Frankfort today. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the questions lawmakers had in the wake of the mask requirement.
It has been a mandate some have questioned, and now lawmakers are questioning health leaders about it.
Was the Kentucky legislature consulted prior to the issuance of the executive order or the emergency regulation?
During the process of promulgation of this reg, the General Assembly was not counseled.
Lawmakers also wanted to know about scientific evidence used to formulate the need for wearing masks.
I know that there has been a growing body of evidence relative to scientific studies that masks have an impact.
And some lawmakers say they've already seen a number of problems, even though this mandate has only been in effect for a couple of days. From some people that were denied service when they had a legitimate reason for not wearing a mask, to walking into some places and not seeing hardly anyone wearing a mask, and basically nothing being done about it.
But So I was very concerned.
Representative David Hale says he walked into a store where he was only one of several people wearing a mask. Even the workers there weren't wearing them.
There seemed to be no enforcement from the store managers or store personnel to ask these people to leave.
The first option will be to call the local health department and have some of their staff go out there and see what's going on.
Lawmakers were also told if there is a disturbance or serious problem with non-compliance, for the police to be called. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
One lawmaker says she is also hearing about overall good employees refusing to wear masks, and there's a concern people will be losing their jobs over this. In 2019, vaccine hesitancy was listed as a top 10 global health threat by the World Health Organization. Many worry those fears could mean trouble for an eventual COVID-19 vaccine here in the U.S. and abroad. Andrea Walker has more on how local health leaders are responding to those concerns.
While health experts say a COVID-19 vaccine is needed to return life to normal, a growing number of Americans are concerned about politicians prioritizing speed over safety.
Unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of folks combining politics and science, a lot of people looking at bad science to confirm beliefs rather than actually looking at the evidence.
Dr. Ryan Stanton, an ER physician here in Lexington, says he wants to help put concerns about vaccine efficacy to bed once and for all.
Even though it's hurried, it doesn't mean it gets a free pass in terms of efficacy and safety testing. We're not going to see something out there that is dangerous simply because we want something out in front of the public. The FDA is still testing these things. They are still having to go through the approval process.
Unfortunately, anti-vaccination movements are nothing new. In fact,
we're seeing a resurgence of diseases that we thought were almost eradicated. And so, of course, increased risk, especially to high-risk populations, young children, elderly, with diseases we thought were almost gone. And so we're going to see the same thing with COVID.
While many are hopeful we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year, Dr. Stanton thinks 2021 is a more realistic expectation.
And the encouragement is that everybody gets it. I know that, once I see the efficacy and safety profiles, if it's decent research and numbers, then me and my family are going to be the first ones in line when it's available for our age groups.
Andrea Walker reporting now. Recent polls have found as few as 50% of Americans are committed to receiving a COVID-19 vaccine at this point. Developing a plan to boost vaccine confidence is now a top priority, according to leaders at the Centers for Disease Control.
We've seen lots of sunshine today, along with comfortable temperatures. The humidity has gone down. Of course, it's a little warm out there, but it actually feels great. Recommend getting out and enjoying it before the heat moves in later this week. We'll take you out to some of those cameras though first. As you look over into Whitesburg, 83 degrees right now, a few clouds here and there, and feeling like 83. Once again, those dew points on the lower side into the lower 60s. Temperatures across the area anywhere from about those low to mid 80s, so closer to 85 in London, a little bit on the warmer side. Only in the 70s though in Pikeville and Wise. They might get into the 80s today, but I know Pikeville has been a little bit on that cooler side throughout the day, and those dew points have been very comfortable into kind of that getting sticky, maybe some spots close to that uncomfortable, but really not feeling bad out there, especially compared to the 70s we were seeing a few days ago. Satellite and radar not looking bad either. We saw the clouds move out pretty quickly earlier this morning. We've been dry throughout the day and we'll continue the dry trend heading into the next couple of days. Some more sunshine though moves in tomorrow. We'll warm up too, but by Wednesday, it's when we'll get hot and humid, continuing to see those sunny skies. We really won't see the scattered showers and thunderstorms return until Thursday. We'll talk about just how hot we're going to get coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, Paige, thank you. More than 20 people are injured after a fire on a naval ship docked in San Diego, California. Officials say about 160 sailors and officers were on board, far fewer than the thousands typically on the ship when it is on active duty. The latest update is that a fire suppression system was inoperable when the blaze erupted aboard the ship. The Navy says it has set up an 1,800-foot perimeter around the vessel and surrounding buildings to keep people safe. The Coast Guard has established a 1 nautical mile safety zone while the firefight continues.
We're actually going to make sure it sails again, but we don't know.
As of last night, there are 15 people, 13 sailors and 2 federal firefighters admitted to local hospitals. All are in stable condition. A new proposal being voted on this week would make dialing a life-saving hotline as simple as calling 911. Created by the FCC, it would make the current 10-digit suicide prevention lifeline into just 3 digits. Dialing 988 would instantly connect callers with trained counselors at local crisis centers. Experts say the 3-digit hotline also emphasizes that mental health issues are just as critical as other emergencies.
It's a game changer, and I think it's intuitive for most people that now when you dial an emergency, every child knows that number, 911. Of course, that's what you dial.
If the FCC vote passes on Thursday, the 3-digit hotline would be available in 2 years, but the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available right now, 24 hours a day. Actress Kelly Preston has died following a 2-year battle with breast cancer. John Travolta shared the news of his wife's death Sunday on Instagram, saying, quote, "It is with a very heavy heart that I inform you that my beautiful wife, Kelly, has lost her 2-year battle with breast cancer. She fought a courageous fight with the love and support of so many." Preston enjoyed a decades-long career in Hollywood, starring in movies like Jerry Maguire and For the Love of the Game. Kelly Preston was 57 years old. Authorities say Glee star Naya Rivera is dead. Officials just confirmed a body found floating in a California lake was the 33-year-old actress. The discovery came 5 days after Rivera's 4-year-old son was found asleep and alone on a rented boat. She is the 3rd star of the Fox musical comedy series Glee to die in their 30s. Her death was confirmed exactly 7 years after co-star Corey Monteith died. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, are you struggling to pay student loans right now? We'll have some options that can help.
Drier weather and hotter weather on the way, especially by the time we get into the middle of that work week. I'll have those details coming up.